All right, so now we're going to take a look at using tables to format the structure of your entire page in HTML. As I mentioned, people generally think that you should be doing this with style sheets at this point. There are a lot of advantages to that, which we'll see in the next set of lectures when we get to that. But if you're trying to put together a simple page, this can be a quick, fast, and easy way to do it. So I have a file here, tablestructure.html. I will finish out the core of it. I have that open here in my browser. Again, it's blank. And to make this a little more interesting, I'm going to show you an attribute, which you really should do with style sheets now, but we'll get into that much more in depth soon. This is the background attribute, which will do a background image. It will tile it on your page. I have one that's not going to repeat too much, curve.gif, which will be linked for you guys. You can use it too. And it makes that for us. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, browsers had a much lower resolution, and so this white part would actually stretch across most of the screen. But this gives us something, so we're going to put some information in the sidebar here, and then some in the white space, just so you can kind of see how we'll use this. All right, so that's the main body of our document, and then we're going to start off with a table. Everything is going to go inside the table. We're going to have one row, and that's going to be the whole page, and it's going to be two columns. One column that'll show up in the orange here, and one column that'll show up in the white here. So let's do our TD, and we'll just put some text. And then our main, okay, so that's not too beautiful right now. What we need to do is format our spacing a little bit. So how big is this sidebar? That's a good question to ask. Let's actually go over to Photoshop. We're going to open that file. Okay, so this is our file, and I'm just going to select like this section. We want all of that to be the sidebar. And there's all kinds of ways to get some information about that. The easiest one for me is just to copy that, and then the width of that is 170 pixels. So I'm going to say 170 will be the width of the sidebar for me. So that means I'll put width equals 170 over here, and then I'm going to leave the rest of this blank. It'll fill out the rest. So if I come and reload, now my main part is solidly over in the white. Okay, so this is kind of hard to read, the black on the orange, so we want to make that white. We're going to do a little bit of style sheets here. This is something that you've seen before, this style attribute. We're going to say color : white. Again, we're going to get way into this later, but for now that's a way to change the color of the text within this TD tag. So if I save that and reload, now my sidebar text is white, which is great. And our main text stays black, and that's fine. And then that's basically all we want to do. So now we have these two sections where we can put content. So let's put some stuff here. I'm just going to put in some filler text. This is something that you've probably seen before. So I have this copied and pasted, this lorem ipsum text. So I'm going to put that in there. And that's just to give us a placeholder. For the sidebar, let's say this is a navigation bar. So we'll just put some options. We'll have home, about, frequently asked questions. Oh, we don't need the dots. Contact. Pretty generic sidebar there. Okay, these we would make into links, but since we're not doing multiple pages here, we'll just leave it like that. So if I save and reload over here, okay, so now we've got a few things going on that we might want to fix. Our text is running way over, so we maybe want to constrain the width of this. And we don't have any paragraph marks between our text. So let's do some formatting there, put in these line breaks. And we want to constrain the width, so we'll do that in a TD tag. And I think probably 600 will be good. Let's see how that looks. All right, that's a little too big, but our line breaks are there, which is good. Let's try 500. Still a little too big. 450 should do it. All right, so our lorem ipsum text fits nicely into the white space, but what you can see is that our navigation elements here keep moving down and down. They're actually vertically centered. So we have the total height of our tallest column, and this is aligned in the middle. We probably want to change that, so if we have a really long page, it's not going to be down. We want it to be kind of at the top all the time. So we're going to change the vertical alignment. To do that, we come back here in the TD tag. There's an attribute valign. Again, this is something you can also do with style sheets now, but we'll just do it the simple HTML way. Valign can be set equal to top, middle, or bottom, which does exactly what you think. It aligns to the top, middle, or bottom of the entire height of the cell. So we're going to do valign equals top. And now if we reload, there it is up at the top. We can scroll, but this is always here at the top part. So there you go. That's a really simple example of how you could use HTML to structure your document. This is a very 1990s looking page. If we zoom it in a little bit, it looks a little bit nicer. But this generally isn't the way you see pages formatted now. Fortunately, Style Sheets gives you a lot of kind of templated ways to make really beautiful pages that don't have to use HTML and tables for formatting them. But again, if you're just trying to throw something quick together and you want a sidebar, you want to align some things next to each other, maybe have a top navigation bar, tables are a simple way to do that. And it's a good way to get started with some more advanced formatting of your page.